Yo, what's up everyone? We are finally back with some more Melty Blood news. It has been a while, but we're finally back with some more Melty Blood type Lumina news. Now, there was a Japanese tournament that just happened not too long ago, official tournament by the way, and they're going to be doing one for North America. But they actually had some announcements to actually showcase at this tournament, which they did say a few days earlier. They said there were going to be something there that they're going to showcase, and of course we finally got that. So we got 2 new characters, and of course we have some balance changes that people been looking forward to see what is going to shake up the meta of the game, or exactly the systems of the game. We got system and balance changes for characters. Now they give us a little sneak peek of what we can expect for the system, but we don't know about the balance changes, but we're going to talk about everything in just a second. But like I said, we have 2 new characters that are going to be here. We got Mario and Power Ciel. So let's go ahead and talk about everything that's going to be here. So as you can see, we have Mario and then we have Power Ciel. So Mario is going to be a character from the new visual novel. So I don't know too much about them, but we are going to find out some details. And of course, we have the trailers for the characters that we're going to check out and break down as well. Both of these characters are going to be playable as early as April 14th, and they are going to be free to download. So if you have the game, hop on and try these characters within 4 days. You know I will definitely be there trying out both of these characters to see exactly how they're going to play after we check out these trailers, so I can get even more hype for them. This is a good time for Melty Blood. And of course, the character story and stages are going to be free as well. Now, I don't know exactly what stages we're going to get, but based on the background, I'm guessing these are going to be the stages. You can see they have 2 different separate backgrounds. I'm pretty sure we're going to see them inside their trailers when we check them out in just a little bit. But yeah, a little sneak peek of what there is to come. Now, for the people who deeply been wanting some more colors inside the game, here we go. So we got 5 color variants and 5 color palettes for all characters. So we're going to be getting some color palettes, which means just, you know, you can select the colors, I'm guessing. And then we have 5 color variations. So these are going to be base colors that we can use for our characters. So I really hope that these base colors that we're getting are some that's going to have more special effects, because you know there are base colors you could use per character that basically like changes the like aura or whatever their like style of their attacks. Like usually they have like, if they have like a red color, you can get one that gives them like a blue color and stuff. So I want to see more palettes or more base colors that can do that to characters. So definitely looking forward to seeing exactly how these new base colors work, so we can see if we can get some nice new colors and stuff in the game, and you know, of course, you know, create some more drip. Now I could not find the source for the adjustments of the battle systems or Melty Blood type Lumina changes that are going to be coming. I'm guessing this happened on the stream and they just haven't posted it to their official Twitter yet. But Giuna went ahead and actually did some of the translations here, so we can go ahead and read this off. So system changes, once again, they didn't go into the battle changes. That will be at a later date. I did hear that. But some system changes that we can expect that are going to be here. The freeze frame on successful shield to increase to make RPS easier. So there is, you know, sort of a freeze frame when you actually do a shield. And this is sort of going to, like, I guess, make it to where you can see the situation a little bit easier and it's sort of pick your option easier. But I feel like this works both ways, because it's going to be more free frames. I think it's going to allow the person that actually got their attack shielded more time to actually react to the situation. You know, if you press a button and you get like shielding to BC, it's really fast, right? You got to be ready to like shield back a BC move, which is like the move that goes up and diagonal. So this may actually give the actual opponent time to adjust and visualize what's happening as well. So this could be working on both ways. So I don't know exactly how it's going to make the RPS easier, but we'll see once it actually comes out and actually test it out. There's going to be a held version of heat that's going to be added to change the timing to beat OSs. So this is actually pretty interesting. So right now everybody is doing the OS. So if you do immediate heat, you'll just get shielded. But now apparently you can hold the heat button, and this will allow it to where the pop of the heat will actually just come a little bit later and sort of get past the OS timings and stuff like that. So I hope this is the case, that it actually does that, because I think it'll just make the mechanic more interesting overall. Although heat does feel pretty strong, where the defensive options do feel pretty strong right now. So this is sort of a way the community was trying to mitigate some of the craziness that's already inside the game, especially with this next one that I'm about to read, which I don't even know why this is a change, but this is making the game sound a little bit more crazier. So EX moves now cancelable to shield when shielded. No more guaranteed punish. More usable in neutral. So before, what you would see a lot of what people would do is they would pop moon drive and they would spam, like, you know, some EX moves, right? You'll spam some moon gauge moves, and after that you would be able to shield it. A person would be able to shield it, and then you couldn't do anything else, so they could get a punish. So if you did like moon drive into like moon skill DP, then you would get punished because you couldn't get the jump cancel. But now you're able to do the cancels and stuff off of the shield, so now there's no guaranteed punishes. So you can sort of like go crazy with like without any marriage or any consequences now, it sounds like. So this is a little bit crazy. I don't know exactly how I feel about this one yet. We'll see exactly how it actually plays out when we actually get our hands on this. But yeah, this change was the one that definitely caught me by surprise the most. More recovery on Whiff Shield. This one actually may be pretty good, especially depending on how it actually works. because some characters don't have the instant air dash that sort of don't go over people's heads, so they can't get an overhead, especially if a person low shielding. So if you try to just jump to try to get an overhead, you probably can't get much off of that because they probably recover in time before you actually get that off. So the best punish you could potentially get in that situation is going to be a throw, and that's not really going to do that much. It does increase damage because of the counter hit, but it's not going to be that much damage compared to just getting a counter hit, you know, bopping them on the head. So this may be a really good change. I can't wait to see how it actually works. Less recovery when landing from air guard. So Juna put in parentheses here, you think it's probably to prevent some type of fuzzies. This is going to be very interesting. So less recovery when landing from air guard. So you're going to be able to act out of air guards much quicker, but usually people like try to staircase you down, but I guess there's some situations where people don't all the way and then probably like do some type of fuzzy, sort of like how probably like Dragon Ball actually has some type of things like that. I would guess something like that. More range added to guard cancel burst. So by guard cancel burst, I'm guessing he's talking about the heat. So you know when you're doing it inside of a person's block string and then like they do a button that's kind of like far away to kind of like well space, and then you just sort of whiff in their face and then they get a free punish. So they're going to try to give it more range so it actually hits the opponent while you're actually blocking now. So this is going to just make that overall better. So once again, just buffing heat overall. I guess they felt like heat wasn't where they wanted to be, and they didn't really like how it was just getting OS all the time, and I guess people weren't using heat as much as they wanted it to be used or something like that. So they're trying to buff the mechanic, give it a few more merits of use. You can use it in block strings a little bit more, or use it on your opponent's block strings a little bit more, and of course you can actually use it held while you're on the ground, so you can hold it to try to like beat the OSs and stuff like that. The next one is can move after falling from high B shield counters. Now this one is also very interesting because if a person is sort of like running around and jumping and like, you know, moving really crazy, if you try to shield and do a B counter, you'll just sort of like whiff, and if like they were in the air with you, then you'll sort of just be stuck coming down a little bit. So it's gonna probably just allow you to act after the JB a little bit more, I'm guessing on the whiff, I'm guessing, or it doesn't say from hit or whiff. So I'm guessing personally from the whiff situation, because it is a little bit weird, the tracking on it sometimes, especially when you got a fast moving character. So I'm guessing it's going to be on that side of things, I would imagine, but we'll see once again once everything comes out in a couple of days here. So last one is going to be arc drive damage increase depending on remaining gauge. So right now people use their arc drives, but they want to increase the damage and they want it to be on based on the remaining gauge that you have left. So I'm guessing this is probably talking about when you actually do it in heat. So when you do it in heat, you know you got access to the super at all times. So I'm guessing there's going to be a base increase for everybody, but that increase is going to be detailed by how much gauge you have. So if you're in, you know, if you're in blood heat, you're probably going to get a lot of damage, especially if you use it early on in blood heat. And then of course, if you use it like in regular heat, but use it the last second, you're going to get a small damage increase overall, like everybody is, but it's not going to be as much if you used it when it was like max or something like that. So this is how the increase is going to work. I'm pretty sure that's what it's talking about here. And of course, once again, we will see this change also in play in a couple of days as well. And then the last thing he had to say was a couple of bug fixes here and there. But once again, the character balance changes is going to be something that we're going to talk about at a later date. I don't know if those are going to come out before the actual release date. If it will, I will definitely be making another video talking about the changes and potentiality of how they may actually shift the way characters are played or the meta of the game at the moment. So definitely look forward to that, because we will definitely be talking about that if we get that information. And that's pretty much all the news at the moment. Like I said, they will be doing a North American version of this tournament coming up shortly, so I guess we'll get more details on that soon. But of course, we got to check out the trailers for both Mario and Power Ciel. So let's go and check out these characters and break them down a little bit from the small trailers that we actually got. All right, here we go. A young acting prelate of the Holy Church, also known as the Puppeteer. Oh, he do got like little strings. So is he part of, so he's part of the church? Wait, he got a nun with him? Yo, wait, who is the nun with him? Is that Noelle? Looks sort of like Noelle. Wait, is multiple? Wait, what? Wait, is it both of them? Is it Noelle and? Or is it just regular nuns? Yo, you know what he remind me of? That character from Under Night. The one that like controls like the little dinosaur dude. What's his name? Isn't it Chaos? He definitely reminds me of Chaos. And of course, here we go. Tattoo-less powered Ciel, a demon killing executioner. So she's gonna have the new giant weapon. So of course, we know she has her old weapon. Okay, so we saw the other new stage, by the way. The new stage. Getting new music too. Okay. I gotta go back and listen to the Mario song too. I kind of wasn't paying attention. I was just so memorized by the character. Oh man, she got some range on her, boy. Of course, the clash battles. Man, our Ciel's a pretty cool character. He's always been cool. But this new weapon is kind of sick. Okay. New weapon is kind of sick. I do like the new weapon. So Mario definitely looks like the more interesting of the two to talk about just because of how unique this playstyle actually looks. So we can see that they are actually controlling the actual nuns with like they're sort of, they said they're a puppeteer, right? So you see these strings coming out and they're actually controlling them. It seems like they can have up to multiple of 2 at a time. It seemed like there was a point where there were 3 on the screen at one time, and then the third one was leaving, and then as they were leaving, the second was coming out. We can see they're actually controlling Noelle too in the super. Noelle sort of comes in and like does an attack, and he sort of like pulls Noelle with the strings and then sort of pulls her into the opponent. Really funny animation when you actually look at it. But there's some very unique and interesting things here that we can see. So we can see they sort of have like a hop jump off the person's head, and they can sort of manipulate their movement off of that. There's one point where they actually go behind the opponent and get like a nice cross-up attack with a kick. And there's another point where they actually do it, but then they also use it to where they use another move which sort of halts their momentum. So I'm guessing there's probably ways to sort of stay in front and then sort of stay behind the opponent. There's one point we can see as well that you can interact with the nuns, so they aren't just there and they aren't like untouchable. You can hit them and stuff. There's a point where they actually got hit one time, and then Mario sort of went the other direction, and then the other nun hit them from behind with a charge move. So you have to be wary of both nuns at the same time. Now I don't know, we don't know exactly how they actually work exactly as far as like how do you control each one. Is it like all his normals, or one is normals and one is special moves? We don't know exactly how it's going to work, or if there's like a cooldown on them if you knock them down or something. Like say if you like kill one or something like that, or you knock one down and then like it's out of play for a second, do you get another one, or you have to like summon it? Like is he like summoning these, or did he start with him? Like I don't know, we don't know exactly how this actually works out, but it looks very interesting so far for sure. The first gameplay part, we see he has one nun on the screen, and then he sort of goes for his air throw, and then the second nun is dropping down. And that nun can actually just leave right after that animation. It could just be the animation for his throw, or that could be the way he can get the other nun out. Now there are a couple different versions of the nuns we see. So there's the one that drops down with like the sort of like long spear looks like. There's the double sworded one, and then there's the one that sort of has these like shuriken things that like sort of toss out at the opponent. These are the couple ones that I see so far. And then of course there's the Noelle assist, but that's just a super. There may be a couple of different variations of the nun that he can actually like pull out any time, or depending on what moves he uses, he can have access to this version of the nun and then sort of use their moves and stuff like that. So it may be a couple of variations that he can actually play around with depending on how he actually do his moves and stuff. I think that'd be very cool if that's actually how it's working. And you see he got like combo extender off of it. There's one that just punches you, I think we saw too, off of like just like the swords, and then the one came from the back and punched. So there's a couple of different variations of the nuns for sure, and I cannot wait to see exactly how they actually stay on screen and exactly which ones you can manipulate and which ones just go away after a certain special move or normal or something like that. So very cool character design for sure. Don't know anything about him inside the game, but as far as what we see here, it definitely just looked like an interesting playstyle. It's like a more crazy version of like what Chaos used to be in Under Night. So kudos to them for actually trying to pull this off. It looks very good. Now, of course, I can't say Power Ciel isn't unique, because I think this is a very different version of the character that we've seen before, just because she has a new weapon, right? So this new weapon is sort of making it to where this isn't really like a used version of the character that we can sort of pull from. Of course, I think there's probably like a few normals here or special moves here that we can sort of like see that are like, okay, yeah, this is Power Ciel stuff. But for the most part, we see some pretty interesting and new things here, I think, for sure. Especially with all the things that are using the whip and stuff like that. This new like whip sort of like, it's almost like Ivy's sword a little bit, but more spikier, right? But we can see some very interesting things happening here. For one, we know she has 2 grounded overheads, one that has long range and one when she's up close where she like bops you sort of with the actual gun, and then the long range one is where she like hits you with the whip from full screen. We can see that both happen because Ro was actually crouching, and then one they definitely tried to shield. Of course, we can see this nice long range charge attack in the air as well that sort of brings the opponent down. She can actually combo off her throw, we can see, with a special move where she like sort of like throw him aside and then sort of did a special move from there. So that looks very good for like a nice combo extension. I do got to say the spinning gun move looks really cool. They did it off the overhead from the gun, and they started spinning with like the gun, stuff like that. It looked really ballerina-esque. So I do like the way that move actually looks. And of course, what would Power Ciel be without some armor? So of course, there was a point where she actually did like this sort of backflip and then came in like full power charge. and it went through one of Roa's lightning strikes, and it said it had a hit of armor on it. So we can expect this character to definitely have some type of armor moves, at least this one for sure. So probably, I don't know if we're gonna have more armor moves, but we at least gonna have one armor move for this character. Is gonna help her get in a little bit, but it don't look like she's gonna be having a problem getting in that much anyway, because it looked like she got some pretty good normal tools and some pretty good mix-up options too. I mean, she got a couple overheads she could do off of just being close and of course far away. That's pretty good, having double grounded overheads, one for close and one for far. And then she seemed like she has some pretty good air buttons too. So I don't know if that's going to be an issue for this character, but hey, she got some armor, so apparently she needed it. And that pretty much concludes everything that was shown off at the first official Melty Blood type Lumina Japanese tournament. Like I said before, there will be an American one, which they said will have like similar prizes and stuff like that. And of course, there will be character balance changes that will be happening. We just don't know what they are yet. But as soon as we find out those, I will definitely be letting you guys know, and we'll be going over those in detail before the actual patch release. Like I said, the patch will be coming out in 4 days, so April 14th, and it will be free. So definitely check it out if you have the game, is you have no reason not to. Anyway, if you like anything I had to say, drop me a like, I greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, follow me on my socials. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn notifications so you know the next video goes live. As always, my name is Dyken, and I'll see you next time. Signing out.